So let's take a look at SP 5 through 8 review. Number 1, which event has a 50% chance? So rolling a 2 on a fair number cube from 1 to 6 would give you a 2 and 6. So it's not A. B, rolling a number less than 5. So that's 4 out of 6. That's also not 50%. That's 2/3. So not B. C, a fair spinner that has equal parts blue, yellow, and red stopping on blue. That's 1 in 3. And number 4, a fair spinner with an equal part red and blue stopping on red. That's 1 in 2. So again, the bottom number is the number of possible outcomes. The top number is the number of outcomes you are looking for. So 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3, 4 out of 6, etc. So that would be answer choice. Which was that? D. Number 2, she spins a spinner once and flips a fair coin twice. That tells me this is going to be compound. The spinner is shown below. What's the probability of the spinner landing on an odd number and the coin landing on tails both times? So odd number, I have 1, 3, 5, and 7. That's 4 out of 8. And then what's the probability of coin landing on tails both times? That's 1/2, and that's 1/2. Now I'm going to simplify this to 1/2. Half times a half. Because remember, in compound probability, we multiply all the events together. So if you have a 50% chance the first time, you now have half of a 50% chance, or a 25% chance, 1 in 4. And then if you half it again, you get 12.5, or 1 in 8, which gives me answer choice C. Number 3, probability the spinner will land on either yellow or green. So there are 2 yellow squares and 2 green squares. That is 4 out of 6, which if I simplify that down, that should give me 2/3, which is D. Okay, moving right along to number 4. 10 girls and 16 boys in a class. The teacher has sticks with each student's name. This is a compound probability question, so I know I'm going to multiply something times something. What's the probability of selecting sticks with a boy's name and then a girl's name if the first stick is not replaced? So the boys, I have a 16 in 26 chance. And then with 1 removed, I now have 10 out of 25. Because if I take 1 boy out of the mix, there's 25 sticks, but there's still 10 girl names in there. So I would just multiply this, which gives me 160 over 650. Now, if I look at the answer choices, I notice right away that if I divide each of them by 10, 16 over 65 is one of the answer choices. That is correct. It is B. All right. Number 5, Bill picks a marker from a bag and a crayon from another bag. There are 3 markers, 2 green markers, 1 blue marker, and then there's 2 brown and 3 purple crayons. So first, there are 3 markers, 2 markers, so that's 6 markers. And I want to get a red marker, which is 3 out of 6, or 1/2. Then there are purple crayons. There are 3 out of 5 purple crayons. If I multiply that, I get 3 over 10, which is one of the answer choices, D. All right, moving on to number 6. Ordering a lunch that will consist of an entree and dessert. He can either get pizza or hot dog, and there are 3 options, either a cookie, ice cream, or a bag of chips. How many combinations are there? Well, with my tree diagram, it's pretty easy to see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3 times 2. So that is C. Number 7, Raul owns some shirts. The table shows the color of shirts, the number he owns. He randomly pulls a shirt that's blue out of the drawer. Without replacement, what's the probability he'll pull out a red shirt? So if he pulls a blue one, there are, 3 and 4, 7, 10, 15. There are 15 to start. So what's the probability he pulls a blue? That would be 4 out of 15. Then, if he doesn't replace it, I now have 14 shirts, and there are still 2 red. So I'm going to multiply that across, and I'm going to get, to simplify it down, eventually you get 1 in 7, which is A. 15 times 14, 8 times 2, or 4 times 2 is 8. Then you simplify it down by 8. All right. Number 8. I have 30 beads to make jewelry. There's an equal number, orange, green, and blue. She chooses a bead. So probability she'll choose a green or a blue bead. Well, each of them is 1/3. So there are 2 out of 3. That's all there is to it. The answer choice is B. Number 9, she'll roll a fair number cube. The number cube is labeled 1 to 6. What's the probability Ashley will roll greater than a 4? So that could be 5 or 6. That's 2 out of 6 possible choices. Simplify that down, that is 1/3 or C. And finally, a spinner is spun twice. The probability of spinning an odd number both times. So it's 2 and 4 or 1/2 each time, which would give me half of a half is 1 and 4 or 25%. So make sure you explain what you did wrong and why the answer is correct and include your work to get credit for the revisions.